Hi everybody, this is Miss Bigley. This is your video lesson for Wednesday of the second week. We're going to be still continuing to work on reducing fractions, but this time we're going to put in adding and subtracting fractions and then reducing. So it's two skills in one. We already worked on adding fractions and subtracting fractions last week, so again this is a review of the skill, and then adding with the reducing fractions to simplest terms. Alright, remember today is a reflex day. Make sure you're going to reflex, logging in. I can check to see who's logging in and who isn't. I will be contacting those who aren't this week. But please make sure you're doing that. If you want to do it now, go ahead and pause the video. If you want to do it afterwards, that's fine, whatever you choose. But please make sure you're doing it today. Alright, so let's get started. Our first question is finding the sum. Sum is our keyword. Sum means to add. We are finding the sum of 1/15 and 2/15. Okay. Can we add these two fractions as is? Well, looking in the denominator, are the denominators the same? Yes, they are. So if the denominators are the same, we can go ahead and add the fractions. So the denominator is going to stay the same. We don't add the denominator together, but we do add our numerator. Okay, so our fraction that we got, the sum is 3/15. But we want to see if we can reduce this. The way that we find out if we can reduce it is we find the greatest common factor, GCF. I'll write it here, GCF, of 3 and 15. Remember, what two numbers, when multiplied together, blank times blank equals 3? Well, always start with 1 and 3. 1 and 3. There are no more factors of 3. Those are the only two. So let's go ahead and move on to 15. Remember, always starting with 1 and the number. 1, 15. Another two factors are 3 and 5. When we multiply 3 and 5 together, we get 15. Okay, what is the greatest common factor? What same number is in both lists? Well, we have 1, but remember I said 1 is not our GCF. It is going to be 3, okay? So now we're going to take 3 and we're going to divide our original fraction, 3/15, by 3, okay? We're going to go ahead and divide 3 divided by 3 equals 1. Or if it's easier for you, you can think what number times 3 equals 3. And then 15 divided by 3, or what number times 3 equals 15? That number is 5. That is our lowest reduced term. Okay? So that is your answer for question number 1. And I've already given you an example answer. Awesome. So yes, we can reduce. The reduced fraction is 1/5. Okay? Next question is going to be question number 2, and we're finding the difference. You should all know what difference means. Difference, it means to subtract. So let me go ahead and quickly erase all this. Totally helps to make sound effects. Okay. Our keyword is difference. Difference. It means to subtract. Okay? We're finding the difference of 4/8 and 2/8. Alright, as you can see, I've kind of kept these problems easy with keeping our numerators the same. I figured just for the skill of doing two skills at once, that's this lesson. Tomorrow's lesson, we're going to be adding unlike denominators, so it's going to get a little harder. Okay, 4/8 minus 2/8. Can I subtract as is? I can, because my denominators are the same. So I can subtract. I'm not subtracting in my denominators. My denominators, it stays the same. Okay? Now I subtract in my numerator. 4 minus 2. 4 minus 2, or if I need to put 2 in my brain and count up to 4, 2, 3, 4. So that's 2. 2/8. Now, I want to see if I can reduce this fraction. So 2/8 over here, I'm going to find the GCF, greatest common factor, of 2 and of 8. That means blank times blank equals, okay, what two numbers when multiplied together equal 2, what two numbers when multiplied together equal 8? Well, for 2, always starting with 1 and 2. Those are the only two factors for 2. 8, always start with 1 and 8. Another factor pair is 2 and 4, right? 2 times 4 equals 8. Those are your factors of 8. Okay, so now sorry, I just had a brain fart. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now we are going to find the GCF. So we have our two lists. What is the largest number that occurs in both lists? Well, again, it can't be 1. 2 is in both lists, and that is the largest number that repeats in both lists. So 2 is our GCF. We're going to take 2 and we're going to divide in both our numerator and denominator. Dividing by 2 so that we can reduce. Okay. Dividing by 2. 2 divided by 2, or what number times 2 equals 2? It's 1. 8 divided by 2, or what number times 2 equals 8? That answer is 4. So it is 1/4. Okay? So if I were answering question number 2, it would be yes, I can reduce. The answer is 1/4. Okay? Please go ahead and erase it. As always, please make sure that you are doing the notes on a blank piece of paper. I always have 8 problems, so you are folding that paper into fourths, like I've showed you last week. Finally got sun yesterday. It was so nice out. And we go for a walk. I wish you guys could respond to me and I wasn't talking to myself, talking into a video camera. Well, I hope you guys were able to get outside for a little bit and enjoy the nice weather instead of being cooped up inside. Cool. Okay, we're on to question number 3. Question number 3. Find the sum of 4/8 and 1/8. All right. Sum, that is our key word. Sum, you should know what this means. Sum means to add. It is an answer to an addition problem. Okay, so we're finding the sum of 4/8 and 1/8. Okay, 4/8 and 1/8. Can I add as is? Yes, I can. I have the same denominator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my denominator the same. Add in my numerator, 5/8. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can reduce this. I'm going to find the GCF, greatest common factor, of 5/8. Remember, blank times blank equals, okay? I'm going to find the GCF of 5 and the GCF of 8 and see if we can find a number that is common in both lists that is greater than 1. It can't be 1 because if we divide by 1 in both the numerator and denominator, it'd be the same. Okay, so let's go ahead and find the GCF, the factors of 5. So 1 times 5 equals 5, and those are my two factors, that's it, of 5. My factors of 8, starting with 1 and 8, 2 and 4, 2 times 4 equals 8. Okay, besides 1, are there any other numbers that are in both lists? There aren't. So there is no GCF. Well, the GCF would be 1, but if we divided by 1, we'd get the same thing. So 5/8 is actually the simplest term. So for question number 3, you would say no. Can't reduce 5/8 is the simplest term. There you go. Okay? That's because besides 1, there are no other factors that both 5 and 8 share. That is why we cannot reduce. Okay? Moving on to question number 4. La, la, la. I wonder if you guys miss my singing and my jokes in class. I know I miss being goofy in front of you guys. I wish it didn't take this long to erase. Okay, where would go? All right, question number 4. We are finding the difference. Difference. The difference of 5/15 and 1/15. Okay, difference means to subtract. Okay, now can we add as it, or sorry, can we subtract as is? Looking at our denominators, are they the same? They are the same. We can subtract as is. We don't have to do anything else. So 15 stays in my denominator. 5 minus 1, I'm subtracting in my numerator. 5 minus 1, or putting 1 in your ring, count up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4. 5 minus 1 is 4. 4/15. Let's see if we can reduce this. So I'm going to find the GCF, okay, of 4 and 15. Now, if I find a GCF that other than 1, then that means I can reduce this fraction. So always start with 1 and 4. 1 times 4 equals 4. 2 times 2 equals 4. I'm just going to put 2 there. Okay? What times what equals 15? Well, starting with 1, 1 and 15. 1 times 15 equals 15. 3 and 5. Okay. Besides 1, are there any other numbers that are the same in both of these lists? There aren't, right? Just 1. If we were to divide by 1, we'd get the same fraction. So, can we reduce this fraction? No. No, we can't. No, we can't reduce. 4/15 is the simplest term. Okay? So I've given you 2 examples of where you can reduce, 2 examples of where you can't reduce. It is now your turn to try and questions number 6 and 7 for your I do. Okay? Go ahead and pause this video. Give yourself, I would say, 5 to 10 minutes. Make a timer, 5 to 10 minutes. Give yourself that time so that you can do questions number 5 and number 6, and I will show you how to do them when we get back. Okay? Best of luck. See you in a little bit. Hi, welcome back. Question number 5, we're going to go over it. So, keyword is sum. Sum means to add. We are adding 5/8 and 2/8. Okay, 5/8 and 2/8. Can we add as is? Yes, we can. Our denominators are the same. So, 8 stays the same in our denominator. We add our numerator, 6, 6/8. 6/8. We're going to see if we can find the GCF of 6/8. Oh, sorry, 6 and 8. My bad. Always starting with 1. 1 times 6 equals 6. 2 times 3 equals 6. Those are our factors of 6. Okay, 8, always starting with 1. 1 and 8. 2 and 4. Other than 1, do we have a number that shows up in both lists? Yeah, it's 2. So we can divide by 2 in both our numerator and denominator. 6/8 dividing by 2 in both numerator and denominator. That gives me an answer of 3/4. So your answer should be yes, we can reduce. The answer is 3/4, okay? If you got that correct, very nice job. On to question number 6. We are finding the difference. Trying to do this quick. Okay, maybe the sound effects don't actually help the erasing, but it keeps me entertained. And maybe it keeps you entertained too. Okay. Okay, so we have difference. That is our keyword. Difference means to subtract. We are finding the answer to a subtraction problem. 3/3 minus 2/3. What does it equal? Okay. Can we subtract as is? We can. Our denominators are the same. So I'm going to keep the denominator the same. And I'm going to subtract in my numerator. 3 minus 2. That equals 1. 1/3. Okay, can I simplify? Finding the GCF of 1 and 3. Okay, what number times what equals 1? 1 times 1. What number times, what number when multiplied together equals 3? 1 and 3. All right. Besides 1, is there any other number in these two lists that they share? No, it's just 1. So guess what? 1/3, that is our simplest form. So you cannot reduce, okay? So no, you cannot reduce. 1/3 is the simplest answer, okay? Please go ahead on to the exit ticket. Try your best. Please make sure you're showing your work for the exit ticket. I can tell by the grades if you are showing your work and if you're not. Good luck, and I will see you tomorrow for the next lesson. Bye, guys.